guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. It's been exactly a year since I posted my last Tretinoin video, and ever since then I have been wanting to post a video where I'm able to address all of the questions that I'm asked all the time about Tretinoin all in one place. So that is exactly what we're going to be doing here today. I have a huge list of questions that you guys have asked me over the past several years. These are questions that I am asked constantly. I know that these are the questions that you guys care about the most because they're the questions that I get the most. And even though I, of course, am not a dermatologist, I do feel like I'm able to provide you guys with some insider insight on Tretinoin, given that it's now been about 4.5 years since I first started my Tret journey. My skin has evolved so much over the past 4.5 years. I started off with cystic hormonal acne and a lot of texture. That evolved into skin that looked like it was basically being burned because it was so irritated, to where I am at today, which is the best skin I've ever had in my entire life at the age of almost 29. I had to check what date it is. My birthday's in a month. So we're gonna jump right into it. If you have not seen all of my Tretinoin related videos that I've already posted, definitely check out my description box. I will list and link them there. I have videos including things like my Tretinoin hacks and also my 3.5-year Tretinoin journey, where I talk about things that I wish I knew right away when starting Tretinoin. So those are listed below. Otherwise, we have so many questions to talk through, so let's just dive right in. All right, the first question is definitely the question that I am asked the most whenever I bring Tretinoin up, and that is, where do I get my Tretinoin? And the answer to that is through apostrophe. So this portion of the video, this question in particular, is kindly in partnership with Apostrophe, which I'm super excited about. I have now been using Apostrophe for over a year at this point, and I absolutely love it. So I'm really excited to share a little bit more about it with you guys, especially given that so many of you have questions about where I do get my Tretinoin and what that experience has been like. Apostrophe is an online platform that connects you to an expert dermatology team and provides access to prescription medications. To get started, all you do is complete a virtual consultation through Apostrophe. After that, your initial treatment plan is then crafted by a board-certified dermatologist, and that treatment plan could include oral and/or topical prescription medications. This is my Apostrophe prescription. It contains 0.1% Tretinoin, 5% tranexamic acid, and spironolactone. I've been using Apostrophe for almost exactly a year now, and I am so glad that I switched over to this brand because I've definitely noticed a significant decrease in the amount of breakouts that I get. Within the past 6 months, I think I have only had one cystic breakout, maybe two, but I think one. And that's huge for me because I always used to break out around my cycle, and it was just something that I knew would be coming every month, but I no longer have to worry about that. But even if you are lucky enough to not struggle with acne, Apostrophe is still a great resource for different topical prescriptions that can help with skin concerns like fine lines, wrinkles, hyperpigmentation, etc. So if you would like to test out Apostrophe and get your first consultation for $5 plus an additional $5 off your first order, make sure to click the link in my description box below and use the discount code listed at checkout. All right, let's move right along. What percentage of Tretinoin do I use? 0.1%. How long did it take me to move up to 0.1%? I think the entire process took me about a year. I guess maybe like a year and a half if you include the fact that I actually started off my retinoid journey with Differin. If you're not familiar with Differin, that is the brand name for the topical skincare ingredient adapalene, which is really similar to something like Tretinoin, just significantly less potent. So I decided to start off with that to kind of ease my skin into things, and then from there I was prescribed 0.025% Tretinoin. Several months later, I moved up to 0.05%, and then about a year later, after that 0.025% prescription, I started using 0.1%. Did I have acne before using Tretinoin? If so, how long did it take to improve? I sure did. I've basically been acne prone my entire life. Well, I guess my entire post-puberty life. So when I was a teenager, I had T-zone breakouts on my forehead, my nose, my cheeks. I had just all of the little breakout bumpities. If you had those, you know what I'm talking about. Then in college, for whatever reason, that went away and I did not deal with breakouts at all. But about like a month after I graduated college, I got my first cystic breakout on my chin, and that started my journey with hormonal cystic acne, where I got breakouts around my chin, jawline, and around my mouth. So that is the type of acne that I was dealing with when I started tretinoin, and that is the main reason that I started Tret at that time, because it just would not go away. It was so stubborn, and it made me hate my skin. So it definitely took a while for it to completely go away. Well, I guess I can't even say completely go away, because it didn't completely go away with tretinoin alone. Within about 3 months, it was significantly better. I feel like it took probably like 6 months to get fully under control. And within that year mark, for sure, I was like, okay, this is so much better than it was when I started. But even still, I was getting breakouts around my cycle. I was just getting far fewer breakouts. So it would be like 1 or maybe 2 instead of like 7 at a time. And then when I started using Apostrophe about a year ago, I was able to get spironolactone added to my prescription, which, if you are not familiar with that ingredient, it's an anti-androgen that also helps with breakouts. And within several months of using that, I noticed an even bigger improvement. And now I rarely get breakouts. Within the past like 7 months, I have had 1 cystic breakout. Did I experience purging? My answer to this is a little bit nuanced, because I actually attempted to start using tretinoin, I think maybe like a year before I really committed to it. And I started purging so badly that I quit, because I was like, I can't do this. This is making my breakouts worse. I started this to make them better. I already hate my skin. I could not emotionally deal with it. So I did purge really badly at that point. I think I was on it for like 2 months and it wasn't really showing signs of improvement. But then maybe like a year and a half later, I started different and I did purge again then. I think I got maybe like 7 breakouts all at once over the span of a couple of weeks. But then after that, there was no more purging for me, even when I switched from different to tretinoin. So I did have an initial tretinoin purging phase, but then the second time around, when I started off with different first, I purged from different, but then not from switching to tret. So everyone's experience with purging is going to be a little bit different. Unfortunately, I can't give one blanketed recommendation regarding purging, because some people don't really have purging at all, whereas others will have purging for several months and feel like things are just not improving. If you do feel like your purging is just relentless and it's not getting better, definitely work with your dermatology provider, because they may be able to prescribe something else to help with that. Did tretinoin make my skin more sensitive? 100% yes. Even though I would say I've always had slightly sensitive skin, it wasn't until starting tretinoin that I noticed that my skin was incredibly sensitive. Did tretinoin increase my facial hair? I'm scared about getting tret sideburns. I hadn't really heard much about this until a few months ago when people started talking about the use of tretinoin for hair growth, and there are studies that show that tretinoin can promote hair growth. In one journal that was posted back in 1986, it says that tretinoin has been shown to promote and regulate cell proliferation and differentiation in the epithelium and may promote vascular proliferation. These factors are important for hair growth promotion. These preliminary results indicate that more work should be done on the role of retinoids in hair growth. But this was a study conducted on 56 subjects with androgenetic alopecia. I personally have not experienced any change in hair growth on my face. I don't have tret sideburns that I'm aware of, but I will say that my sister's eyebrows have gotten even fuller since using tretinoin. So she is somebody that has always had more full defined eyebrows compared to me, who just like doesn't have them. And I remember her texting my mom and I, like, is it just me or do my eyebrows look way darker and fuller? Like, is this actually from tretinoin? And we looked back at photos and it was a 1000% yes. Her brows have definitely thickened and darkened since using tretinoin consistently. No, I'm so ticked about that. You have no idea. Like, why did that happen to her? She didn't need it. She already had beautiful brows. I needed that. I'm really upset. So I say that to let you know that you may experience some sort of increase in facial hair growth, but I personally have not. How long should you keep using the same prescription before increasing strength? First and foremost, I would say definitely work with your dermatology provider to figure that out. But for me personally, I knew it was time for me to increase the strength of my tretinoin when I was able able to use it every single night underneath moisturizer with no irritation. How long did it take me to see results? I'm asked this all the time, and I really wish I kept better track when I started, but from what I remember, within like 3 months, I started noticing improvements, and that just continued to get better. At the 6-month point, I would say definitely I was noticing just, I don't know, my skin looked better, but I feel like it took me a full year to really notice significant improvement in terms of the quality of my skin as far as texture and smoothness and clarity and glowiness. So I know that's definitely not what you want to hear when you're starting off a new topical skincare product and you want to see results really quickly, but with tretinoin, it does just take time and patience to see those amazing results. The good news is that even after that year mark, you can get excited for even better results to come. I really do feel like my skin continued to improve. At the first year mark, I was like, wow, my skin looks so great. At the second year mark, oh my God, I was like blown away by how smooth my skin was. I couldn't believe it. So the results kept building for sure. Should you dip your toes in and ease into it, or just dive in and get the purge over with? I definitely think you should ease into retinoid use, but it's not to prevent purging, because purging can really happen with any form of a retinoid. Like I talked about, I experienced purging with adapalene, which is significantly less potent than 0.1% tretinoin. It's really for the purpose of preventing irritation as much as possible, because retinoids are incredibly irritating and definitely need to be adapted to before your skin can tolerate them without irritation. How do you deal with flaking? Those days. I mean, it's definitely super important to use quality moisturizers with tretinoin, but when it comes to preventing flaking and severe irritation, I actually have an entire method that I broke down in my last tretinoin video a year ago, and again, that video is going to be listed below. In that video, I walk through the step-by-step process you can follow in terms of which days to use tretinoin on, how to use it with moisturizers, and how to adjust that over time so that you're really working with your skin and preventing flakes instead of working against it. So check out that video for sure. Is tretinoin safe for the skin around your eyes? This was a really hot topic on TikTok at one point because, first of all, I feel like it has kind of been drilled into our heads that you're not supposed to use tretinoin around your eyes, but it has actually been shown, and dermatologists have come out and said, you can use tretinoin around your eyes if it doesn't cause irritation. The reason why you want to be careful from a skincare standpoint is because it's an irritating ingredient, and the skin around your eyes is definitely more sensitive and more likely to be irritated. So proceed with caution. Some people cannot tolerate Some people can't tolerate tretinoin application around the eyes because of irritation, others can. I personally can tolerate it. It doesn't irritate my eyes. I think it was Dr. Dre that she might have even posted a video on this. If she did, I'll list it in my description box below if I can find it. Just talking about the fact that you can apply tret around the eyes. But the reason why it became such a heated debate on TikTok is because people were coming out saying that tretinoin caused severe dry eye. There was an article posted in 2015 called Retinoic Acid and the Ocular Surface. It says that the main limiting factor on retinoic use is its detrimental effect on meibomian glands. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that, which can eventually result in dry eye symptoms, but this says that the effect is reversible on discontinuation of the drug, which is opposite of what I feel like I was hearing. People were saying once you have this, it's irreversible. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. But then there was also an article posted in the year 2000 that said that emulsion of retinoic acid can be suggested as a promising approach for treatment of dry eye, which is so confusing. Like, it could cause it or it could help it. So I feel like it's just completely up to you and whatever you are comfortable with when it comes to applying tretinoin around the eyes. Does it matter if tretinoin is a gel or a cream? No, it doesn't matter. The only thing to note is that the gel form of tretinoin may just be more drying. How much should you apply and how do you apply it? The general rule of thumb is about a pea-sized amount. I feel like I maybe apply a little bit more than that, but not much. So I'll just pump it onto my fingers and then rub it in between my fingers so that I can spread it out and make it easier to apply evenly on my face, and then I will go ahead and apply it that way. I apply it after serum and before moisturizer. Can I use other serums at the same time as tretinoin or only moisturizer? Yes, you can 100% use other serums. I do. My personal favorite to use at night is the Dermatology Needleless Serum. I've been using it for several years. I'm obsessed with it. I know so many of you guys are as well. It is, well, It'll be listed in my description box below, but I also always have a discount link for dermatology in my description boxes. It automatically gives you 20% off at checkout if you are interested in that serum. When can I reintroduce other active ingredients? I would say once you have been using tretinoin consistently, like for a few months without irritation at all, then you can start to think about that, but I would do it very, very slowly and like cautiously. So start off with lower percentages of actives. Like, don't just jump into a 20% AHA serum. Instead, start off with something lower, see how your skin responds. Don't use it for too many days in a row, and then you can kind of work up from there. Can I use alpha hydroxy acids under tretinoin? I personally would not, just with how irritating tretinoin can be by itself. You are asking for trouble. I would 100% use your alpha hydroxy acid in the morning when you're not using tretinoin. What skincare products should you avoid when using tretinoin? I would say generally anything that could potentially irritate your skin. So alpha hydroxy acids like lactic acid and glycolic acid, beta hydroxy acid, so salicylic acid, benzoyl peroxide, that is a big one. I would just discontinue use of all products like that when you first start using tretinoin, and then when your skin is in a good place, you don't have irritation, that's again when you can start thinking about reintroducing some of those. Do I recommend sandwiching tretinoin? So if you're not familiar with sandwiching, that basically means applying moisturizer first, tretinoin second, and then moisturizer again on top of that. So you're like sandwiching tret in between moisturizer. I think it's a great idea if you have really sensitive skin, really dry skin, or you are experiencing a lot of irritation and you're trying to get your skin to adapt to that ingredient with less irritation. That can be great. Long term, it's definitely not something that you need to do. I don't have a need to do that now. I'm able to apply tretinoin directly on top of my serum and then just finish up with moisturizer. So I would say it's just totally up to you and where you are at with your tret journey. How do you manage chapped lips early on with tretinoin use? Vaseline lip therapy 1000%. There is quite literally nothing better than it. Is it safe to use during pregnancy? Currently, it's not recommended as safe to use during pregnancy. I am really interested if this will ever change, because I have seen dermatologists talk about the fact that tretinoin is not systemically absorbed, so it's safe to use while you're breastfeeding because it doesn't go into your bloodstream anyways. The reason that that all came about in the first place is because of oral ingestion of vitamin A in extreme amounts, like with Accutane. That is definitely not safe. That can cause birth defects. So I think just out of the like utmost caution, they just were like, don't use topical vitamin A during pregnancy either, just in case, even though it doesn't absorb into your bloodstream anyway. What barrier creams do I recommend using with tretinoin? Lucky for you, I have a video on my top 10 favorite barrier creams. And the reason why I included 10 different options in that video is I wanted to give you guys a variety of choices depending on both texture and ingredients. So if you are somebody that has really, really oily skin and you just have a little bit of irritation with tret, you probably want something significantly lighter weight than someone that has extremely dry skin and extreme tret irritation. So I have 10 different options, starting off with the lightest weight, kind of like jelly barrier cream, all the way up to the really thick ointmenty occlusive barrier creams. Two that I will shout out in this video that I have loved for years are the La Roche-Posay Cicaplast Balm. That is a lighter weight version, and the CeraVe Healing Ointment for something real thick. I love that stuff. What moisturizers do I recommend using with tret? This is going to be totally up to personal preference and again, what your skin type is and how irritated your skin may be. Tons of the products I included in that barrier cream video work great as moisturizers. That is what I would classify most of those products as anyway. It's just that they also have ingredients in them to help to protect and heal your skin barrier as well. So any of those. I also did upload a video a couple of months ago talking about 6 moisturizers. Where was I? Oh yeah, so I uploaded a video recently talking about moisturizers that I am currently loving. The one from that video that really stands out to me as being especially amazing for tretinoin is the Kopari Moisture Whipped Ceramide Cream. That one is so good. I got my friend on that recently and she's texted me about it probably like 3 times saying her skin is like a baby's butt. So maybe that's one you want to try out. And the last question for this video is, will tretinoin be something that you have to use for the rest of your life, or can you stop using it when you see results? It's a for life thing, baby. You can stop using tretinoin when you see results, but your results will then eventually go away. So yes, that is something that you're going to want to use for the rest of your life to continue to see results, to continue to prevent and attack signs of aging. But what's the problem with that? I have none, personally. All right, you guys, that is everything I wanted to include for this video. I really hope you found this helpful. If you have any further questions that I did not address in this video, let me know in the comments below, and let me know what other skincare related videos you would like to see from me on this channel next. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, click on that notification bell, and send my channel to a friend. Thank you so much for doing those things. Your support means the world. Thank you for watching my videos. I love the freaking heck out of you guys. Make sure to stay tuned for my next one because that will be up in a few days. But until then, I hope you have a great few days.